Good morning, everyone. I want to welcome you to our 2020 annual meeting and Call Federal's first virtual annual meeting. My name is Kara Clements, and I'm the Vice President of Marketing and Financial Education. And today I will be the moderator for this virtual meeting. Before we get started, I just want to make a couple of technology notes about today's meeting. If you have a question at any time, there's a dialog box below the audio instructions on the control panel, and you can submit your question. We're going to try to answer questions where we can today, but if we don't, we'll follow up with you afterwards. During our meeting, we're going to reference two documents, our 2019 annual report and our 2019 annual meeting minutes. These documents are linked in the email that you received as confirmation, and they're also on the right-hand side under handouts. Or you can also go on our website under our annual meeting event page and find them there as well. During the meeting, you'll also be asked to vote on two motions. A slide will appear similar to what you're seeing here, and at that time you can select yay or nay. Here's our agenda for the morning. Our chairman, Jim Horn, will kick off the meeting and share some highlights from our 2019 board report. Then we'll turn it over to Julian White, our board treasurer, for his report. And before we close out the meeting, our new president and CEO, John West, will talk about the state of the credit union. Given the timing and economic climate in which this meeting is taking place, we're going to primarily focus on the future of Call Federal in the age of the COVID-19 pandemic. And again, I want to welcome you today, and after determining that there is a quorum, I will officially call the Call Federal 2020 annual meeting to order at 11:04 a.m. on August 29th, 2020. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to our chairman, Jim Horn, who has served on our board for more than 25 years. Thank you so much for your service to the credit union, Jim, and I'd like to invite you to get us started.
Good morning. The first item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from our prior meeting, our annual meeting. They were, as Kara referenced, they are in the packet. So with that, do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Do we have a second? And a box should be appearing to vote.
Great, these votes are coming in. It looks like the majority have voted, so we're going to close that and continue on.
Once again, good morning and welcome all of you to our annual meeting. First, I would like to wish our long-time president and CEO, Roger Ball, into a well-earned, much-deserved retirement after 36 years at the helm of our credit union. His legacy will never be forgotten by the number of members he helped over the years. Roger's successor, John West, has been with the credit union since 2012 and has the full confidence of the board of directors to lead our organization to even greater heights in the years to come. As you will see in the financial information, 2019 saw tremendous loan growth, particularly in the mortgage portfolio. The team here excelled at helping our members keep even their largest financial decisions with the credit union. We also continue to improve our technology and the opportunities it provided to keep our members' finances safe and secure. While technology isn't the only factor involved in meeting our members' needs, it's important to us to provide the kind of service that makes it possible to choose Call Federal every day. It's been a year of great change at Call Federal, even more in 2020. And I'm proud to say that the management team and the employees have not just survived, but thrived. Thank you once again for the sincere pleasure of serving as your chairman.
Thank you so much, Jim. Next up, our treasurer, Julian White, who has shared his expertise as a licensed CPA with our board for the last 8 years. Julian, tell us a little bit about our 2019 financial picture.
Good morning, everyone. The Board of Directors are pleased to announce that Call Federal Credit Union maintained a good financial position during 2019, as well as accomplished loan growth goals and continued to implement new products and services to meet the member needs. As we will look at the next slide, you have access to the financial statements, so I will review a few slides that reflect the good financial slides as of December 31st, 2019. As you can see, assets we ended the year with, and I'm going to round as 398 million. Shares, we ended at 348 million. Loan growth was 14.75% over 2018. And net income for the year, we ended at $1,640,585. Balance sheet net worth ratio, I just want to mention, we ended 2019 at 11.63%. We are fairly conservative. We're required to maintain 6% by the NCUA, which is National Credit Union Administration. So that has served the membership well, especially when we enter years in which we have external adverse situations. So it's a good story. And the next slide is just to kind of show you some of the numbers that I mentioned. As far as assets, we're at 398 million. You can see for the last few years that we've been steadily increasing, which is good. Shares, we ended at 348 million. Again, that's a continual increase. And as far as loans, we ended the year at 212 million. So we are on an increase, and as we go into 2020, that number will continue to grow. And the last slide is just showing net worth that I mentioned. We ended the year at 11.63%, and so as you can see, where we really try to shoot for 10 to 12%. So we're within range. So that is a good story. So that's the financial statement for 2019.
Thank you so much, Julian. As Jen mentioned in the beginning, we have passed the torch in the last year to a new president and CEO. John West joined Call Federal in 2012 as our Director of Accounting and Finance. In 2015, he was named Vice President of Operations and also served as our acting CFO before being named by the board to succeed Roger Ball as our new leader. Please join me in welcoming John to his first Call Federal annual meeting as our President and CEO.
Thank you, Kara. Hello, everyone. I'm really happy to be with you all today. As you heard our Chairman and Treasurer when they spoke, 2019 was another successful year at Call Federal. Financially, we did very well. We had strong net income. We grew both loans and shares, and we're continuing to work on our long-term plan of improving technology and our overall infrastructure. As Kara mentioned, my plan is not to spend much time talking on 2019. The first reason for that is that we're closer to 2021 than we are 2019. And the second reason, and the most important reason, is so much has changed at the credit union in 2020. I wanted to bring the membership up to date. One thing that I will focus that was a major change in 2019, and that is that I am not Roger Ball. I know Roger's on the call with us today, and I just wanted to take a minute to thank him for his years of service, his dedication to Call Federal, his compassion for the members, and his overall leadership of the credit union. Kind of wanted to take a minute and talk about how I met Roger Ball and how I ended up at Call Federal. And the first day when I came to Call Federal at the Commerce Road location, I arrived in the morning, and it happened to be that Roger was getting out of his car at the same time. I had never met the man a day in my life, but he walked up to me, and he said, "You must be John," and he shook my hand, and we proceeded into the building. I don't know if it was an hour or two that I spent in the office with Roger, but we talked about the value of a cooperative. We talked about the history of Call Federal. We talked about, our families, our personal beliefs, how they aligned with the mission. And I can tell you from that day on, I knew that Call Federal was my new home, and I wanted to spend my career here. Again, the reason for that is that my values and beliefs align so well with what the board of directors, the staff, the members, and Roger had built over the prior 36 years. Fast forward, we come to June of 2019. I began working daily with Roger to ensure a smooth transition as he got closer to his well-deserved retirement. One of the things that I heard over and over during that time frame was, you have some really big shoes to fill. And I could agree that a statement is true, both in the context and the actual dimensions of the shoes. But honestly, I think it would have been a major mistake to try to fill Roger's shoes. That's not something that you can do. You have to build your own path. I feel it's my role to protect the strong commitment to member service Call Federal has, while continue moving forward, embracing technology and changes in consumer demand. To achieve that, the management team has worked along with the board of directors, and we established a business plan for 2020. Key areas of that plan included continued advancement in technology, increased member engagement, elevated member service, enhancing our youth program, becoming an employer of choice, along with many other goals and objectives. A few of the projects that we've succeeded over this time frame or are currently working on that I think are worthy of discussing, I'm going to go to now, especially in this time where person-to-person interaction is limited. This year, we've been able to launch Zelle. Many of you on the call would know what that is, but it's a real-time person-to-person money transfer tool, the key in that being real-time. We're in the process now of implementing a managed network for our ATMs. This will allow for increased security and for new service options, such as cardless cash. We're also launching a new education portal that focuses on all stages of life, from your child's first use savings to you planning for retirement. And just last week, we launched a new software package that increases security for online and mobile banking. So it increases the security, risk of fraud, but it also reduces friction. And that's key to member service, especially, again, when you're more often doing banking from home. What this will do is it learns your behaviors, and it reduces the amount of times you would have to receive a code or security questions to access your information. So we began working on our business plan in 2020, and that's when I like to say the real 2020 happened. My quote for the year is, we couldn't have prepared for this pandemic, but we have been preparing it all along. What I mean by that is, over the past 8 years that I've been at Call Federal, on a daily basis, we've worked forward to make sure that we're better than the day before. We revamped our IT infrastructure. We put in new home banking and mobile banking applications. We've increased our training, and most important, we've hired and retained a great staff. Doing all this groundwork is what enabled us to be nimble once the outbreak occurred. Our major goal from the outbreak, from the very beginning, was to keep the staff and members safe while adapting to the changing circumstances, and I think we've done a fantastic job at that. What did we do to accomplish this? The first thing we did was implement changes in the branches. We quickly changed the utilization of the branches, the choreography. We implemented a scheduling system that allowed members to make appointments to conduct business while still practicing safety protocol. We also increased staffing at our drive-through lanes to support the increased volume. Once we got through that process and we had time and we were able to modify our branches, we were able to acquire additional personal protective gear and implement new procedures for COVID-19. We began reopening our branches for lobby traffic. As part of this challenge, we knew that volumes would change in our call center as well. At one point, we were at double the normal calls, and that was due to the people not coming into the branch as often. So what we did was we utilized staff from other areas of the credit union. We trained them, and we put them on the phones to ensure you can still reach us and that the call volume wait times would be low. The next item we worked on was working from home. The slide you see on the screen now is actually one of our employees' new home office. We kind of took this opportunity when there was something negative and we turned it into something positive. As I mentioned earlier, employee of choice is one of our major goals. And what this does is it gauges how well and how engaged our staff are with the credit union. Why this is important is the longer you have an employee and the more engaged they are, the better they can serve the members. So as part of this process, we adjusted our business plan to put employer of choice in a work from home policy in early. This enabled us to keep the staff safe, keep serving our members, but also reach a goal that we had set for 2020. We also implemented quite a few new products and services for members due to COVID-19. The first thing we did was we began waiving skip-a-payment fees and offering hardship extensions. This is really for people who lost their job or had reduced income due to no fault of their own. It was put so that people do not fall behind whether they were looking for a new job or they were waiting for unemployment benefits. We have been very successful with this, and I think it's something that really served the membership. We offered a 90-day low interest rate on credit cards for purchases. And we also created a new product called an emergency loan. These are small loans that help people bridge the gap again, like the hardship or the skip-a-payments would. A good story in this area is we had a member who was in their early 20s who ended up having to take care of their younger siblings while their mom was in the hospital fighting COVID. And what this did was allow them to literally keep the lights on, keep food on the table, and ensure that they had a place to stay while their mom fought this, got back out of the hospital, and got back to work. We also do this on a daily basis, but a lot more of it occurred during COVID as well, and that's look for opportunities for products and services for members when they don't even realize they need them or they want them. A member came into our branch asking for a credit card, who was recently laid off due to COVID, had 2 jobs, so lost one. She found a second full-time job, and she wanted the $1,000 to get her through to her next paycheck. After we reviewed her credit, we discovered she was paying $530 a month on a vehicle with a small balance of $6,000. We discussed options with her. We refinanced her car and saved her $364 a month. We also gave her the credit card. She was so pleased with those efforts, she began talking to us about the possibility of getting a mortgage in 2021. So she's taken some of the savings that we refinanced from her vehicle and started putting those into a savings account and call Federal for her first house. So the reason I really wanted to tell you guys this story is that this is what we're here for. This is our mission. And during a challenging time, we're needed more than ever. So we focused on these products so that we can serve the members and keep moving forward. As I start to wrap this up, I just wanted to say how grateful I am to be a part of Call Federal. I serve side by side with an extremely talented and dedicated staff. I really believe the focus on our membership and our mission has successfully navigated us through this challenging time and continue to grow. We're in a strong financial position, and we have a clear strategy moving forward. So I just want to take a minute now to thank the Board of Directors for their continued support and guidance, to the staff for their dedication and compassion for our members, and especially to the members for your loyalty and your understanding during this challenging pandemic. So thanks again for joining us today, and I look forward to seeing you next year and do this in person.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, John. And with that, I'd like to turn it back over to Jim to close us out.
Once again, thanks everyone for joining this virtual annual meeting, and we now need a motion to adjourn.
Okay. So moved.
Second.
Right. And the polling should be up.
Polling is now open. Votes are coming in. And with 87% of you voting, that is, we are closed out for our 2020 virtual annual meeting. Again, thank you all so much for your time today. Thank you to our board and our speakers for sharing what makes you so proud to be part of Call Federal. And for attending our virtual annual meeting today, you get to be the first to hear about an exciting upcoming member celebration event Even though we had to cancel our in-person annual meeting, we wanted to find a way to get together and celebrate our members this year. So on Tuesday, September 29th, we will be renting the outfield of the Diamond, home of the Flying Squirrels, for a fun, family-friendly movie night. Each couple or family will be allocated a 10-by-10 space to respect social distancing, and each person attending will have their choice of a hamburger hot dog with chips, popcorn, and sodas. More details and registration for that event will be up on our website next weekend, and we'll also include a link in our monthly email newsletter so that you can vote on the movie that we're going to be watching. I really hope you guys can join us. And again, I want to thank you for your time today, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend.